Have you ever noticed how some people seem to learn faster than everyone else? They understand complex ideas quicker, develop valuable skills without expensive degrees, and somehow always stay ahead. Most people assume they're naturally smarter, but the truth is, they're not. They simply know how to educate themselves better than most people. Meanwhile, the average person spends years consuming random information. One day it's productivity, the next day it's motivation, then business, psychology, fitness, or finance. They learn a little about everything but master nothing. If you want to educate yourself like the top 1%, you need a completely different approach. The first habit is to stop learning randomly. Most people treat learning like scrolling. They consume whatever appears in front of them. The top 1% learn with intention. They choose one skill, one subject, or one area of improvement and focus on it deeply. Instead of trying to learn everything, they build a personal curriculum. They understand that depth creates value, while constant switching creates confusion. The second habit is learning through projects. Knowledge without action disappears quickly. Reading about business is not the same as starting something. Learning about writing is not the same as writing. Learning about fitness is not the same as training. The top 1% don't collect information. They test it. Every lesson becomes an experiment. Every idea becomes action. That's how knowledge turns into skill. The third habit is reading books most people avoid. Social media gives you information. Books give you understanding. A single book can contain decades of someone's experience, failures, lessons, and insights. While most people spend hours consuming short content, high performers spend time reading things that challenge their thinking. Biographies, psychology, philosophy, business, and history teach lessons that remain valuable for life. The fourth habit is protecting your attention. You cannot become intelligent if your mind is constantly distracted. Every notification, every short video, and every unnecessary interruption pulls your brain away from deep thinking. The ability to focus is becoming increasingly rare, which makes it increasingly valuable. The top 1% understand that attention is their most important resource. They protect it because focus is where real learning happens. The fifth habit is building a second brain. Your memory is unreliable. Systems are not. Smart people don't trust themselves to remember everything. They write things down. They take notes. They save ideas. They organize lessons and insights so they can return to them later. Over time, this creates a personal library of knowledge that continues growing year after year. What you learn becomes something you can actually use instead of something you eventually forget. The sixth habit is learning from people, not just content. The internet is filled with opinions, but the top 1% study people with real results. They read biographies. They listen to interviews. They study founders, creators, thinkers, and leaders. Instead of learning from someone who talks about success, they learn from people who actually achieved it. This allows them to borrow years of experience without making every mistake themselves. The seventh habit is spending time thinking. Most people consume information all day and never give themselves time to process it. They watch videos, read articles, listen to podcasts, and immediately move to the next thing. But learning doesn't happen only when information enters your brain. It also happens when you reflect on it. Taking a walk, sitting quietly, journaling, or simply thinking about what you've learned helps transform information into understanding. The eighth habit is teaching what they learn. One of the fastest ways to discover whether you truly understand something is trying to explain it. Teaching forces your brain to organize ideas clearly. It reveals gaps in your knowledge and strengthens your understanding. You don't need a large audience. Explain concepts to a friend. Write about them. Take notes as if you're teaching someone else. The act of teaching accelerates learning dramatically. The ninth habit is creating a daily learning system. The biggest mistake people make is relying on motivation. Motivation feels powerful, but it rarely lasts. Systems last. The top 1% don't wake up every day feeling inspired. They simply follow routines. They read a little every day. They learn a little every day. They apply a little every day. And over time, those small actions compound into extraordinary results. At the end of the day, self-education isn't about becoming the smartest person in the room. It's about becoming someone who never stops growing. While most people wait for schools, courses, or opportunities to teach them, you take responsibility for your own development. That's what separates lifelong learners from everyone else.